Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another bullish week in the markets, finishing strong near the highs. We've been calling it every single week, guys. Every single breakout I have called, I've been calling for higher prices. This should be absolutely no surprise to anyone that we are still breaking out to the upside. Last week, we finished above this weekly trend line right here. That is really one of the last trendline resistances that I have. And that doesn't mean we're just going to explode to the upside. We can, but it's a big bullish sign, especially for the long-term future, right? We broke the monthly green trend line, and now we're above this weekly trend line, and we are pressing up fast, guys. So this is a bullish market. It's going to stay bullish. There will be pullbacks. So let's go into if we have pullbacks, where are those levels going to be? And, what do I think the future has in store for the market? So, first of all, let's go over this week's action. Here's this week's action right here. You can see this. We're in a very tight range for most of the week. And we ended up breaking up on Thursday here. And kind of just a slow grind higher. A lot of individual stocks were doing well this week. I'll get into those a little bit later. But if you've been watching me, you should know when you gap up on Monday like this and you have a nice, hourly breakup candle, where is your bogey on the downside? It's going to be that bottom of that candle, the opening range low. Because if they start closing hourly, 2 hour below that, then you're likely going down to this gap, right? Or you're going to at least try to get to that gap. And so as you can see, it stayed bullish. It never even got close to that opening range low. We actually formed an even tighter range, which is even more bullish that the bears couldn't push it down to that level. You would think it would at least test that level. So because we weren't down there, it was rather bullish, guys, very bullish. And so it was no surprise to me when we broke out here. And, I want you guys to notice here on this day, this transition from Thursday to Friday, we actually gapped down, and I'm sure some of you probably noticed that if you look at a futures chart here, there's actually no gap down, right? We can see here that it's an even open, right? The futures never traded down. Right, here's the futures on Thursday here, right? There's the end of the day, and there's the opening right here of the next day, right? We're actually gapped up a little bit. So I don't know why that happened. I'm not sure if it had something to do with the futures contracts or if it was just shenanigans. I have no clue. But regardless, our bogey on the downside now is what? It's 320, right? 320, big round number. Couldn't get through it. So if we do have a retest of this area, 320 should hold to continue this strong uptrend next week. Obviously, next week is a short week, 3.5 days. It's typically a very just low volume, kind of grindy uptrend time of year. Especially in this situation, that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a grind, maybe a holding pattern, perhaps some higher prices. That's what's going to happen 90% of the time. 10% of the time, they're going to come in when no one's looking, and they're going to pull it back, and they're going to maybe go fill this gap, maybe even come lower. Who knows? That's 5 to 10% of the time that's going to happen, guys. So we always have to have an awareness. We are extended on the chart. But honestly, what I'm more expecting is a holding period. I'm expecting maybe a little bit more grind high and perhaps small pullback and just consolidation. That's what I'm expecting. But we have to be ready, right? And so we're looking at 320. We're looking at this opening range low still. If we happen to be down in this neighborhood, how is price acting? Are we holding? Are we bouncing and getting back above 320, or are we getting here, not able to break 320, maybe headed lower, right? Those are things we need to watch. But again, just expecting holding period, expecting grindy price action, low volume, but we have to be ready for anything. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much everything on the SPY. Let's go to some indexes and see, what these market leaders are telling us. This is obviously the one that I said I was keeping a very close eye on this week. All right, we had this trend line, and this candle was the end of the week. And I said, if we get follow through on this, watch out, we could have a bigger pullback in the market. Immediately gaps up the next day, closes above this trend line, closes above again, closes back below. We had a little jab there below, and Friday it closes above with a strong close. Closes above this breakdown candle high. That's bullish for the DJT, the transports. These can be a good sign of a longer term picture of the market, right? And so we came down, and remember I said, until we get back below this pivot, this is just a bullish pullback, right? It's lagging a little bit. That's fine. It's a bullish pullback. It's been weaker long term. It has a serious resistance up in this area, and we knew it was at trendline resistance. And we said, that's fine if it pulls back. It just needs to stay above this pivot, and it has, guys. Now it's flagging up here. It's staying up here. This is breaking trend, looking to push back to these highs, okay? This is not bearish, it's bullish. Until we get back down all the way below these lows, this is bullish. Now, at this point, if this does come back towards these lows, I think it has a lower success chance of bouncing back. I think from here, we need to stay in here and continue up. That's what I think needs to happen for this to stay bullish. At this point, if this fails and comes all the way back down to these lows, that's probably not good. Okay. So yeah, that looks bullish, looks great. It's finally giving some good, clear picture of direction. IWM, small caps, riskier stocks. If this is going up, market's going to go up, and market's going to go up for a while. So we knew this has been bullish. We knew this was on a bullish breakout ever since here, ever since we saw these consolidation weekly candles. We said, look, never happened up at the top. We never had these kind of candles. We rejected the next week. We knew this was bullish. We knew this was going to test this level, breakdown candle high. Closed above, we said that's bullish. We said this is going higher. Closed above 2 weeks in a row, 3 weeks in a row. Look where we are now, right? And do we have more room? Absolutely. So do the IWM and the DJT both have room to the upside? Yes, they do. So that just confirms that we should likely see higher prices next week, or a holding pattern and higher prices into the new year. This is the next destination that I find very important for the IWM. We ran up to 168.5. That was the highest close. All right, right around here. You can see how it struggled with that price to close above. We finally do get above, come back, test it, close on it. Right, you can see the importance. It also resides right around the trendline resistance, so it makes sense. Is it a little higher, a little lower? Who knows? But the IWM is headed for a destination, and that is my next destination. Now, if the IWM decides to pull back before that destination, that's fine. What we're looking for is support at this zone. If the IWM comes down here, I'm looking to buy if it comes down immediately, right? Because I'm looking for higher prices. If this comes down here and stays down at this level, it's not really a good sign, right? I mean, we do still have this major support zone below, so I wouldn't be too worried until we would get back below that. That would be a failed breakout, but that's a long time away. It's probably not going to happen, but just have it in your mind. If for some reason the IWM is ever down here, this should be very strong support at 162.5. Okay. XLF financials. These are at a massive level, right? We've talked about this monthly chart. If I can go back, we're at the all-time highs. We made all-time highs, came back down. That's very normal garden variety. We should expect that. But, is anything really wrong with that candle? Absolutely not. Is that a rejection? No. It's simply a pullback for now. We can see that the trend of a rising wedge of a bearish pattern has already been broken, right? We said that 2 weeks ago that it barely broke out. That's not bearish, it's bullish. We've broken the two most recent pivots, right? I'm looking for this to maybe consolidate for a week or two, maybe. What we need to keep an eye on is the monthly close here, because you have monthly candles. The high is the 30.98 and the highest monthly close is 30.78. So any monthly close above either 30.78 or especially above both of these numbers, any monthly close at the end of December, incredibly, incredibly long-term bullish for the market. Right? It already looks like we're going into another bull market for a year or more. Who knows? So this is going to be very important in the next 10 days, right? That we watch the XLF and we watch this price action. We make sure it holds this trend and see where the month closes, right? Last week we were watching the DJT very closely. This week it's going to be the XLF, right, for the next 10 days. Lastly, SMH, semiconductors, good tech indicator, right? You have your NVIDIAs, your AMDs, and this was in the same kind of holding period right here, as you can see, as the SPY, and simple price action reading of this says we take the opening range low right here, and we make that the bottom of the range, and we take the top of that day and we make it the top of the range, and you can see on Thursday here, as SPY was breaking out, the SMH wasn't quite breaking out, but it was bull flagging at the top of the range. That's a bullish sign. That's telling you that the SMH is trying to break out. If you watch my trade recap video, we had a trade on AMD on Thursday that was supposed to be a day trade, break out with the market, and we ended up swinging it overnight because I saw this. I saw signs in the market that said we were going higher. Check out that video if you haven't. Great learning experience to look at the trades that we take over at True Trade. And yeah, AMD turned out to be absolutely killer real quick. I mean, just look at that AMD. Massive rally, up 3%. AMD's been killing it. It's actually going for new all-time highs soon. We'll see if it gets there. But yeah, anyways, SMH, it's strong, right? It's bullish until it's not. It came out of a 5-week holding period, and it's going up, right? Do I expect this to come down anytime soon? Not really. I mean, it's possible at any time that they pull the rug out and we have a sharp pullback. It's always possible. But right now, this is breaking out. It's been breaking out, right? Monthly chart, we're breaking out, okay? Just don't get in the way. Just play the trend. There's no getting in the way of this sector right here. This sector is killing it, right? And I want you guys to notice NVIDIA as well. NVIDIA was at a very critical 61.8% retrace, right? From this massive drop we had. Look what it did. It came up 2 days, rejected one day, came up, closed higher the next day, closed on it the third day, opened above, and boom, right? Opened above here, closed the day above, and boom. Massive rip to the upside. Look for NVIDIA to continue as well. We have more room up to this channel trend line. I'm expecting that to break, to be honest. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to, but look for this to have at least another $10 of upside. It also matches up with that nice pivot right here. And you know what? Maybe it goes sideways for a while. Maybe it comes down. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing blows through that trend line, though. I really wouldn't. So that's all the sectors. Hopefully that gives you guys a good picture of where the market might be going. Points to look on the downside. Now I have some good stocks this week for us to look at. So first of all, I just want to show you guys a couple hot industries right now. First of all, the XLV healthcare. Healthcare has been really hot. This has been breaking out. This can see some pullback soon, but long term, look for this to stay hot long term. More in the short term here, I want to look at a few industries. First one is going to be the XLC. This is communication services. This is your Facebooks, your Netflix, your phone providers, right? Your internet providers. These are breaking out right now. Right now, they're just starting to break out. You see this? See this breakout? Look at this weekly trend line. They just broke out this week, weekly, guys. Just broke out. These are going to be huge in the next few weeks, in the next few months. These are what I'm focusing on. And I want to give you guys just a couple, Facebook is one of them. Facebook is huge. This just broke out daily, this solid line. It broke out weekly, this dashed line, right? There's two gaps above, 210.91, 217.5. Look for Facebook. I'm long Facebook already. Got in on this break. And look for this thing to continue up to those gaps and likely make new highs within the next few weeks here. Facebook's going to be a massive play. You guys need to jump in on this. Netflix. Netflix closed the week over its 61.8% retrace. This is bullish, bullish, bullish. It's going for these gaps, right? There's a gap here. It's pretty close. Once we get over that gap, it's up to 350, guys. And then it's up to 360. Now, is it going to get there next week? I don't know, right? It's had a pretty steep rally here. But as long as Netflix can hold this 61.8% retrace above that on the next weekly close or two, it's going higher, right? This might not happen all at once, but maybe it will, right? Communication sector is heating up, so watch this one as well. One more for the communication sector. This one's going to be a longer one. But look at a weekly chart of Comcast. This one looks incredible, right? Breakup candle right here on the weekly. You have a nice symmetrical triangle with a bullish pullback, and look at every close of the week has held this breakup candle low, right? The low on, or the close on this candle is 43.58. The low is 43.53. Held it by 5 cents. A nice bullish hammer this week. This thing is rearing up to go, guys. Look at the volume coming in. Earnings, okay, that's not for a month. But guys, I mean, look at this thing. This looks like a beautiful setup for a swing. Hop in some long dated calls, grab some shares. This thing's gonna boom, okay? Along with the rest of the communication sector. And lastly, just another sector here is the XLY, the consumer discretionary stocks, right? This broke out last week, and look for this to continue. You see this giant holding period, and it had very even highs, right? It was almost a flat line highs, slightly downtrending, and the lows are very steep, higher lows. This is a very bullish pattern. It's a pattern that typically will see large rallies to the upside after being released, right? So I actually don't have any stocks to give you guys in the XLY, but just look for. We can go to Market Watch real quick, and I mean, here's your stocks in the XLY, right? Look at your HD, your low. These ones are doing really well. Best Buy has been doing really well. We've been playing that. I'm looking for a lot of auto companies, O'Reilly, AutoZone. Look for those to continue. McDonald's and Starbucks, right? These have been lagging, and they're starting to pick up. Look for these to continue. eBay is a big one. eBay is looking to get some serious upside. Expedia, guys, there's a lot of good opportunities in here. Check them out for yourselves and find some good long plays. There's a lot of good momentum happening in this market, okay? That's going to be it, guys. If you liked it, please like the video and subscribe if you haven't. I'm almost at 200. Let's get that 200, baby. And yeah, hope you guys liked it. Share it with anyone you know. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.